Welcome to the Power of One. There are many amazing people living in the city of Philadelphia, and one of those amazing people is Kim Kamara, who lost her son, Naeem Johnson Tate, on July 5th, 2017. Naeem was shot 5 times on July 4th, 2017. However, he passed away on July 5th, 2017, at Temple University Hospital. Kim, along with her family members, friends, and elected officials, celebrated Naeem's birthday on November 5th, 2020. Kim has now devoted her life to speaking with mothers who have lost a child to gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. No funding, no payment. Kim is doing this out of the kindness of her heart. Kim also provides resources to the mothers as far as putting them in contact with community-based agencies such as Northwest Victim Services to assist with funeral expenses, lost wages, and with therapy. Please join me in welcoming Kim, a homicide mother on a mission to helping others. Welcome, Kim. Please tell me when you made the decision to actually help mothers who have lost a child to gun violence.
I was just sitting here, and some of the parents I knew, some of them I don't. When it started hitting closer to home, I said I have to, go out and welcome these parents, because a lot of times we don't know what to expect, if that makes sense. No one is prepared to plan their child's ceremony for a funeral or memorial or whatever your religion is. No one is prepared to do that. So I remember how I felt so helpless and I didn't know what to do. Because I have a bond with the funeral home that I use. They were exceptionally great. They took everything over. And I didn't feel as hopeless or lost dealing with them. So I just felt like it was my duty to assist these parents, to tell them, hey, unfortunately, you're in this club no one wants to be a part of. This is what you have to expect. Know that detectives are not going to call you like that. They're supposed to call once a month, but 9 times out of 10, they won't. When you do talk to your detective, make sure you get their supervisor's name, their email address. And I stress to people, email addresses, because that is the most quickest way for your detective to respond to you. Because when you're calling down at the office for your detective, they just take the message down and put it in a box. And it's no telling how long it's going to take for that detective to reach back out to you. So when you have that email correspondence, not only is it a paper trail, but the detective is going to see it quicker than the traditional pen and pad.
Okay. Now, how do you reach your mothers?
Again, it's word of mouth. And if it's somebody I personally know, I'll go over there. So, unfortunately, I've been seeing parents that I know because, of my son going to school with their child or my daughters.
How soon after you finding out that a mother has lost a child to gun violence, how soon after do you go and you speak to that mom?
It depends on our relationship. So one parent, I went as soon as I heard the news. I was up the street at a memorial for my cousin, and it came up on my Citizens ad, but I didn't put it together. Then my daughter called me and told me who, what happened, who it was. And a couple hours after, the incident happened, I was there, and it was a good thing I was there because the mom was, well, she was ecstatic to see me, and she felt more at ease, if that makes sense, because we shared this common bond now, whereas people are standoffish when your child gets murdered.
Right.
So our relationship, it was high and by, and we would speak, but now we're binding. Our relationship is binding now because we have this in common, and it's unfortunate.
Right, right. Yeah, that's an unfortunate connection. Now, do you attend rallies or funerals for the mothers that you've actually connected with? And if you do, does that trigger something in you because you lost your baby?
So I'm realizing I'm not Superwoman. And every funeral I attend now, I see my son. I relive.
Mhm.
So for me, I can't do it.
I understand.
I have to really, really sit back. I'll help. I'll assist with everything else.
Mhm.
I'll hold their hand. But if they say, Kim, can you come? No, I can't. I even write obituaries for
Mhm.
some of the parents, but I
Mhm.
just can't do the funeral anymore. And I found it out this summer.
Okay. And that's important, Kim. Like you said, you're helping these mothers, and I appreciate what you do, but it is not healthy for you to
Exactly.
attend a funeral after a funeral after a funeral. And it doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that it's not good for you. And
Yeah.
that's not good self-care for you. So I totally understand that. Now, when I was leaving the job this past Saturday, I saw a big billboard for Naeem right by the Rite Aid on Germantown Avenue off of Washington Lane. How can other mothers get a billboard like that for their child where their homicide was not solved? And is there a charge?
So there is a charge. Um, that billboard, it was over 1,000, and it stays
Oh
up
wow!
for
And
8 weeks.
you paid for it?
Yes, the foundation did. Yes.
Okay.
So our court is through Clear Channel, and I talked to a lovely lady named Cindy, and I Googled the information. It's a 1-800 number, and then she reaches back out to you. Um, but she was very patient with me because I felt like, okay, name, is going to be on this. This is one of the first biggest things that we've ever done as a LLC. So we wanted to make sure it was done right. So me with picture changing, and it's a limit on how many words you can have. But I can honestly say she was very patient and understanding. I am going to, when I get off the call with you, I am going to call another young man who sent me some information to write a grant. And this will be my first time ever that I've written a grant. And the grant, hopefully, we will get it, and it will go towards assisting other mothers whose murders were not solved to get a billboard put up.
That's awesome.
So
That
in the
that
meantime, I told the other mothers that were inquiring, I gave them the information as well as talked to Cindy to see if two mothers were able to go half. Instead of,
okay.
everybody don't have that type of money laying around.
Right.
And it just didn't happen overnight. And
Right. Right. That is true.
we had a generous donation who actually wanted the billboard up. I had forgotten all about it.
And I'm glad you did get that donation. I know that when I was introduced to you through Kwamina Greer, our victim advocate. I met you, I was just taken back by your strength and by your will to keep your son's legacy alive, and you keep pushing. And I am just, again, at all with your strength. So I'm so glad that you had a donor to see that and that put that billboard up. Because as soon as I was going, I was like, oh, I'm sitting here supposed to be driving, and I'm looking and, get ready to call an accident. Oh, that's great. You know what I mean? But again, it's keeping that legacy alive. Sometimes people do not think twice about their actions and how you have changed a mother's world, how you changed your niece's child's world in this senseless act is just horrible. So tell me, are you still in contact with the detective on your son's case? And does this detective have anything to leave?
Absolutely. I'm in touch with the detective. If I don't hear from him within a month, I'm calling, I'm emailing, I'm constantly emailing him things. And they look into everything that I email. And
Good.
a lot of times we are anxious. We are not patient. And I have to kind of slow my roll because I have to understand the detective side, the DA side and all. All I see is my side. I
Right.
never took in account all the evidence, and everything has to line up chronologically, and the behind the scenes evidence. Never took into account that. So as parents, we have to be patient, and there are some detectives that don't do anything, but I can honestly say out of the one that don't, there are 40 more that will. So we have to learn patience.
That is so true. Now, what message would you tell mothers, fathers, grandparents, siblings, or family members who have lost a loved one to gun violence?
I tell this to anybody who has and who hasn't. Don't forget about the other siblings. Um, don't forget about yourself. Don't forget about your spouse. Because when such a tragedy happens, your focus is on getting that killer caught.
Mm-hmm.
And we neglect the people that need us more.
Mm-hmm.
And we neglect ourselves as well. And a lot of times we develop illnesses and we're not patient with ourselves. We're not doing our self-care. I'm having the hardest time with memory because I'm here, like I'm everywhere at times. And it's like, okay, I need to take a seat because I'm doing too much. I might run out and forget my keys. This morning I came back in the house 4 times because I forgot my cell phone. And I said, yeah, I'm doing a lot. So we have to do self-care. And the reason why I tell everybody, don't neglect your spouse. Your spouse is hurting just like you are.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times marriages dissolve because of this. And it's because of lack of communication. And again, we have to learn to talk it out with your spouse. Use your spouse as that listening ear.
Mm-hmm.
Your other children, your children, you know how much they can take and cannot take.
Right.
So you give them information according to what they can and cannot take.
I want to go back to your previous answer when you're speaking about the detective. We know that the streets talk, and I don't want you to name any names. I don't want you to say anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to your detective, have you heard some things on the street, and have you actually informed your detective of those things, and did that make a difference in the case?
Yes. And like you said, the streets talk all day long. And the detectives hear things. So they compile all the information and follow up on those leads. And if by chance you get a detective, which I had, that I didn't feel that was doing anything, I got him discharged from the case and requested two new detectives.
That's important because there are some mothers, there are some family members that are not satisfied with the detective on their case, and they feel that they have to stay with that detective. So you've actually contacted the detective supervisor and got
I actually went through the DA's office.
But nobody was apprehended, right?
No. The DA's office.
Okay, share that with me. Because going through, I always thought that you could only be put in contact with the district attorney's office if someone was apprehended. So you're telling me something new. So share that information with me.
So I was at a meeting, a town hall meeting with Representative State Kinsey, and I was speaking about my experience, which wasn't a good one with my detective. I would stay up half of the night until he got on duty at 12, and I call him like 12:15. Sometimes he's there. Sometimes he'll say, "Who is it?" And if they say it's Kimberly Kamara, he'd be like, "Tell her I'm not here." And I'm hearing all this. When I talked to him, it was nonchalant, like, "Yeah, okay. So a year of that, I couldn't take it anymore. So I put all that into my letter that I read at the town hall meeting, and someone from the DA's office was there, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh." After the meeting, he ran up to me and he said, "I work with the DA's office. I heard you. I need you to call this number and ask for such and such, and they will help you." And I was able to get a meeting with Vouchy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he was dissatisfied, and he made sure he said, "Give me a couple months," but he made sure that he had two new detectives on the case.
That's amazing. You were in the right place at the right time for you to get new detectives for your son's case. That's great. And just to be clear, viewers, we're not saying that all detectives are bad within the city of Philadelphia.
Exactly.
But as a mother who has lost a child to gun violence, my child is top priority.
Exactly.
Just like the next mom, her child is top priority. So every mother should feel that way. Every father should feel that way. My child is top priority. I don't care whether you're working last out, which is that detective that's working overnight. It is a shame what's going on in the city of Philadelphia. But again, my child is top priority. Whether there's one homicide or whether there's 100 homicides, my child is top priority. So I do understand that. And that is great news to know for those parents. And I tell the parents that I speak to, Kim, call the detective. Yes. I don't care whether you feel like you're getting on that detective's nerves. You're going to be the greatest advocate for your child. I will help you. You already know the advocates at Northwest Victim Services, we are going to help you, but you are going to be your child's greatest advocate. So when you feel like you're getting on someone's nerves, listen, I'm not even going to apologize.
Oh, well.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're going to give me, all I ask is 10 minutes of your time once a month. That's all. And you can tell me what you have, what you don't have, where we are with the case. And I am fine.
Right.
Nothing more, nothing less.
So you said that the detectives, is that a policy that you know that they have to?
This is a policy
at least once a month?
That, yes. This is what I'm hearing that was passed on from the supervisors. down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So that's good to know.
and the other, I can't think of the supervisor name. Matter of fact, I spoke to him last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't, I can't remember his name, but he actually called me back himself and told me my detective was out. And soon as he got back in, he would contact me if I needed any assistance to contact him.
That's
Which,
awesome.
again, is good to know.
It is good to know. Even if you don't have an update for me, stay in contact with me. Let me know. You don't have an update. It's not a long phone call, but I know again that my child is top priority and that
Mm-hmm.
I am on your
And
list.
I've ran across parents whose child has been murdered 10 plus years ago. And
Wow.
they don't even know the detective's name on a case.
Are you serious?
So what we are our child's voice. We have to
Mm-hmm.
advocate for them living or deceased.
Yes.
And I can't stress that enough to people. If you show no interest in your own child case, why should someone else?
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
again, that's what other people, I tell people, don't let the grief get to you. Don't let the guilt, if you're harboring guilt, get to you, because it'll make you not do the things you should do for on your child's behalf. You could be preventing someone else's child from being murdered. Heck, yourself.
Right. 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 And that is good for you to be able to connect with the mothers on that level because you've gone through that unfortunate journey. I have not. So
Right.
I can't relate to them in that manner. But for you to say those things to them, okay, listen, this is what you have to expect. This is your next step. So that is priceless to the mother. That is priceless to the father. That's priceless
Absolutely.
to
And
the
I
to the
tell people, you don't have to listen to me.
mm-hmm.
It's not, but it's going to come a time where you're going to forget everything. I keep
Right.
journals next to my bed
Mm-hmm.
because I might get up in the middle of the night and call to find out some information or to see where they are with the case. And
Yeah.
guess what? I can write that down. Or they may tell me something. I can write it down. And a month later, I'll forget.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I've written it down.
Right. And I say that to a lot of my moms and my dads and my grandmoms when I go out and their siblings. I say to them right now, I know you're running on autopilot. And what I'm telling you right now, you will not remember, or they're probably not even hearing me,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which I do understand because of the traumatic experience that they have gone through.
And I'm running into a lot of moms that are so proud. They feel like they're the only ones in the situation.
Mm,
Um, they rather do it their way, but then they still have to come back to you. And again, it's up to the individual person.
right.
The way
Right.
I do things is not written in stone, but
Mm-hmm.
I tell people to save them the heartache.
Mm-hmm.
I connect the dots. Okay, Northwest Services. If you need assistance with funeral, counseling, whatever, contact
Right.
them. I'll write
Mm-hmm.
the number down for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't need it. Okay,
Yeah.
but you're running
And
on
I agree
autopilot.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Mm-hmm.
are some parents that I think they do feel guilty when they don't have a life insurance policy for their baby, and they'll say, "I don't want the money back." Here's the thing: we don't judge anybody, and this is a great program that is for victims of crime. So
Exactly.
for you to get the help with the funeral expenses or the lost wages because mom and dad had to lose time from work to plan an untimely funeral for their baby, that's what this program is for. So they should not feel guilty for utilizing the free services that our agency has myself. But Kim, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And please, Kim, please keep up the good work, because unfortunately we need your help in the city of Philadelphia, the way all these homicides are rising, the rate that these homicides are rising. And I personally thank you so much, Kim, for all
Thank
the work
you.
that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Not all heroes wear capes, and not everyone asks for compensation for their hard work and dedication. It truly takes a village to make a difference in one's community, and Kim is making that difference. We need to take a page from Kim's book of life to help those in need. Extend words of encouragement when you see someone in need, and let your smile be contagious to change the mood of anyone that you come around. Remember, you can be the one to change the world. The power of one starts with you.